Welcome to the Best Damn Podcast. This is your host, Jill Lagan, CEO of the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce. In each episode, we will highlight what makes Boulder City, home of the Hoover Dam, the ideal place to operate your small business, explore world-class tourism attractions, and discover why we are the perfect place to live and unwind. All right, super excited to get to visit with Miss Allison Ruiz Shafer. You're just a neat lady, and I am grateful to have such an asset as the Dam Doghouse here in Boulder City. So many people talk about it. You have left such an impression, and so many people really, really need you. So this is not just a luxury thing. This is truly a need. So welcome, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to call you Allie because that's how I knew you. And So I am so glad to have you. And I have just spoken a little bit about the fact that I have a strong family tie with your family. I think the world of them. And Miss Jessica was my tap instructor or my tap assistant when I was a tap instructor at Dance Etc. I just love our history, and I have thought the world of your mom for so many years. What a talented family. You guys are all very skilled. So I'm so glad to have you and get to learn a little bit more about the Dam Doghouse.
Thank you, yeah.
Why did you start the Dam Doghouse? What was this passion project of yours?
So originally we started as the Dam Dog Walkers, and it was really just something that I could do around homeschooling the kids. And I started it March 1st, 2020, which was the funniest thing ever because the whole world shut down about 15 days later. But I was able to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had my morning walks, and then I would check in on any of the house sittings that I was doing, and then I would have evening walks depending on the time of year. So I worked my work around the kids, and then it got to a point where people would ask, do you offer anything else? I would integrate my dog training in with the walks. We would do special exercise programs with the dogs depending on their capability of exercise. So some dogs needed more sprinting, some more training. Other dogs, I was averaging 9 to 12 miles a day.
Oh my gosh.
So just in the mornings because if I had three dogs, they average about 3 miles. You're looking at 9 miles a day. So.
You're covering a lot of territory. You need to be doing a shoe commercial.
Yeah, well, dog walking, there's a lot more that goes into it. And you have to plan out your walk and your route depending on the dog. There were times where I would go past houses that I knew there were reactive dogs because I was working with a dog that was scared. And so we would create a program around that dog. And so I would take on conventional training. I would go to the clients' houses and I would do the conventional training.
Interesting.
The beauty of the work that I do is there truly is no competition. Every dog trainer in Boulder City has something beautiful to offer, something that makes that trainer special. All we do is translate. We're dog translators. And
you're dog whisperers, because I've heard many things said about you that people can take their dogs to you and that you just have some way with them that they just respond and react to you more so than they do as their owner.
It's a lot of it has to do with, again, it's just when you work that closely with these animals, you tend to learn these energy patterns of the dogs.
Right.
And I think when you start to talk about things like energy, people kind of clam up a bit. They're like, oh no, that's it. She's that type of a person. No, my background is veterinary medicine. I worked for Dr. Flannery here in town for a while, and I ran a veterinary clinic in the Reno area for several years, worked emergency, specialty, and coming from that background, having to train teams in high stress situations has really developed the type of work that I do. Understanding how to read a dog quickly, and that 10-second likability that you have, like when you're working with a person, there's a 10-second likability, right?
Yes.
With a dog, it's 2 seconds because they sit and they evaluate more than just you. When you're working with a dog, you have to watch the whole dog. You have to pay attention to their body, what type of
triggers,
where are their ears, what breed is this dog? Because different breeds speak differently. Some breeds speak with their tails, some breeds speak with their ears, some with just their eyebrows. And so when you start to work with these dogs, I think you have to crave that puzzle, that constant puzzle of being able to be in front of this animal, have enough faith in your own skill, but also enough humility to say, let's get to work.
Yeah. You speak with so much passion and compassion. It's awesome. I love it. So I would imagine that there was something that motivated you to take this from the walkers to an actual brick and mortar. And I was very privileged to be in a meeting that we had with the City of Boulder City SCORE and the Chamber. And you were there, and it was in the just after COVID, and we're all like, what the heck? Or no, actually, I think it was in the midst of it.
Yeah, I was in
We're
the
trying to
middle of
figure
all
out
of it.
what the heck, or where are we going next? Walkers is one thing. You're outside, right? And
Yeah.
these individuals still need to have their pets walked.
Yeah.
But now you're talking about a brick and mortar, and how you had the courage and the bravery to do this in the middle of COVID, I'll never know, but I was so impressed with you.
I think you know what's crazy is I'm not the first. I'm not the first person to try to open a dog daycare in Boulder City. I think I may be the most stubborn, which is how it ended up happening, because there were so many meetings. There were so many, how do I get here? How do I get here? And a lot of people who are dog oriented like me, it's a lot to learn how to become people and business oriented as well. Making that leap was not necessarily for me. I saw the need, and a dog daycare in my house was not safe for, I can't get the permits for that. And it's not fair to my neighbors having a dog daycare or having overnights in my home. So creating the daycare was seeing this need and needing to fill it, knowing that there was more potential having a place of my own. And I think what makes dog walking so complicated is the fact that you have variables everywhere, and that's why you need to plan your routes. You need to pay attention to the location. You are constantly head on a swivel, making sure that you are in control of as many variables as possible so that you can give the dog a positive experience to get them past any anxiety that they might have. So that work started to develop this thought process of, if I could just reach a base of calm with them, if I could control more variables and have my own space to give them that calm, we might be able to move forward. We may be able to work with more highly reactive dogs and rehabilitate. So that's where the location became sort of a necessity. And thank God for Jill taking the risk with me, because she was not the first location. In fact, she was the 6th.
Oh my gosh.
And there were so many times where I thought, yes, okay, we've got this location. And then the neighbors the people around there didn't want me there. That's fair. That's fine. Okay, we'll go somewhere else.
You want to be where you fit.
Yes, I want to be where my neighbors like me.
Right. No kidding. You don't need
I don't
confrontation.
I don't want to be someone's frustration at any time.
Right. Well, and Jill, you found the right person because she's such a dog lover.
I did.
So maybe say the address of where you're at. So for anybody that doesn't know who Jill is.
We're at 1656 Boulder City Parkway. We are in the Chili Jillies parking lot next to the Paw Queen and the Smog Vets.
And such a perfect location. And you were there before Paw Queen got there.
Yes.
But what a perfect partnership. That's a great collaboration. You guys are awesome together.
Well, that's what the benefit of working with Jill Bunch is. She's so small, but she's like dynamite. She's always got a plan.
Yes.
And honestly, as someone who my brain is constantly working, having someone who is constantly
matches your energy.
But she's super calm on the outside. I'm like, oh, there's hope for me.
Yes.
And then she had that plan a long time ago.
And she had turf magic on the end. So you guys are a natural fit. That's become a very dog-friendly environment.
Yep.
I love it. Well, that's great. So I liked a statement that you said, base of calm. So you see the Damn Dog House as that base, that foundation, that home away from home, where the dogs, I mean, I have visited you a couple times. So those dogs do not seem concerned, upset, scampering to get out. Those dogs are all very happy. They're laying on their little mini couches. I think they've got a better life than me. It just was a very calm environment. So I think you're right. That base of calm is what you finally established, because you could see that you could control those variables.
Our handlers work a little differently than most dog daycares. They are constantly working and training with the dogs. A lot of my program, the training program that we've developed, is based on actual energy work. So I'm a certified Reiki master.
Interesting.
And I'm certified through Linder Wellness as a sound healer as well.
Oh, my favorite.
I'm
I
certified.
have a story. We'll talk about that in a sec.
I'm certified through the studio here in town as a 200-hour yoga instructor. these are all things that I had to go kind of roundabout. So I wanted to learn how to teach people to breathe. Because again, as a dog trainer, you are a translator.
Yes.
And so I was having trouble explaining to my clients, I just need you to calm down. Be aware of where your shoulders are at. Be aware of where your breath is. You need to be that calm for your dog. And so being able to change that language and kind of step into a field that I never thought I would be a part of, teaching yoga, I was like, okay, so now I can teach you how to properly breathe. And we do have a program where we're going to be working with people breathing and actually doing a form of yoga. So mostly standing positions, relax the handler. Our daycare handlers do these processes, and it's not so much just watching the dogs.
Yeah.
We are constantly adjusting the groups. They have sound baths throughout the day to adjust the energy levels. We do a play, rest routine with these dogs. If we do have those pups that are a little on the anxious side, we spend a lot of time letting them be in their space for a minute, and then we'll offer them a different frequency, meaning like we might put them on a lanyard and walk them outside, give them that space outside and see, can we find you a little calm here? Let's move you around this way. Let's move you around that way. Our temperament tests are 4 hours long.
Oh my gosh.
For a reason. We work with that dog the entire time. We want to see, where's your dog's base? Where are they comfortable so we can meet them there, give them more positive experiences towards being more social.
I'm starting to think that the dogs in your program are going to have better mental health than the rest of us on the outside.
Well, I mean, I had one lady knock on our door and she was like, I just keep hearing all these dogs barking. And I said, yep, it's a dog daycare. Well, why are they barking? They're dogs.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, my dog is not allowed to bark her head off at my home. So when they come to the daycare, that's their house. You guys want to bark? I'm going to try and shush you a little bit. Like, if you were to stand outside my door, you're going to hear me, hey, like, hey, let's bring it down. But we have days where sometimes they just need to let it all out. So we'll bark along with them. And somebody starts a howl, we go right along with it.
That's their communication.
Yeah,
and
sometimes they just need to get it all out.
I guess maybe she was worried that something was hurt or something. But yeah, I think it's awesome. Yeah. And I'm in that parking lot all the time, and I have yet to hear any issues whatsoever. So I'm not sure. But I am just grateful that we have such an awesome program. So will you talk a little bit about your services? So you have, what are your hours? What programs do you offer? And is it an overnight service?
Yes. Okay. So the daycare is open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m., 7 days a week. We originally started with 6 days, but there were too many clients that needed us on Sunday every now and then. And so we are here to fill a need for our city. And so sometimes you just have to do a full overhaul clean of your house, drop off the dog.
Right.
Like, you can drop them off with me. So 7 days a week for daycare. We are closed 3 days out of the year. So Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and my birthday.
Oh, so good for you.
I really don't want to work on my birthday. But we are open 365 days a year for boarding.
Oh.
So any day that we're closed, those 3 days that we're closed, we have staff members that come in and do 3-hour check-ins. So they come in the morning, we move them around, everybody plays, we go energy, energy, energy. And then instead of having a natural downtime, everybody goes back to their spaces and calms. That's 3 days a week, or 3 days a week, 3 days a year.
Yeah,
and
minimal.
Yeah, but for the rest of the time, we follow that play, rest, play, rest, play, rest.
Got it.
Throughout the day for daycare, because we don't want to send home an overstimulated dog.
Right.
We also don't want to send home a dog that has been sleeping all day. So our staff is very well trained on this method of making sure that we get up, we move, and then we rest. So the morning crew is more responsible for making sure that we have the downtime, which is crazy because then you end up having this, like, because you have to be up, 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 up. Your energy is like up, 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 and start breathing, and you bring everyone down and you calm everyone down. And then they're like, let's go, let's go. And you're like, okay, go. And now we're doing it again.
And so now you're doing your own energy work along with the dogs.
Yeah. So then in our evening crew is more about they're getting their cleaning done, and then they're like, oh yeah, we need to get you guys up and moving. And so they have to pick these pups up, and they're like, oh gosh, okay, yes, we're gonna go. The pups are like ready to play, and they're like, oh, we're so tired,
and they're ready for the night.
Yeah.
So then I would imagine you have some concerns. So a dog can't come if it's at some level of being sick, right? So how do you
Yes.
determine this?
We've been very blessed. We have it in our bylaws that, because there's paperwork that the owners will sign, liabilities. We want to make sure they understand we are working with live animals here. We are
Right.
going to do our best to use these methods to make sure that the dogs are safe. These are live animals, though.
Right.
They are dogs. And so there's liability. When it comes to, sorry, your question got original.
So if they're sick or
Yeah.
diarrhea or
We've-
coughing or
We've had such clients will read all of the requirements for the dog being healthy. And I have yet to have an issue where, because I don't penalize if the owner says, hey, you know what, they had a cough yesterday or they vomited this morning or they just, their tummy's not feeling quite right. I don't penalize any of that. We trust our clients
Right.
same way that they trust us. And so we just make sure that the pups are as safe and as clean and healthy as possible when they come in. But that's, a lot of that comes from
the owner.
I just have great clients. I guess I'm just spoiled.
And they wouldn't want anybody else to bring their dog sick, so why would they take their
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
That makes
Is like
sense.
we just don't have clients like that. We just don't have that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, my youngest daughter worked for a doggy daycare back in Savannah, Georgia, and she said that for the most part, most people were just really good about that they knew that, or if they were boarding the dog and the dog got sick while it was being boarded, you know, that was something that they always had to pay attention to too.
Yeah.
And I had got to visit that facility and I was impressed. The things that people have to be so grateful for that service because it takes such a huge burden off of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so we do overnights. Yes, we do overnights. And part of our program is we want the dogs to be able to do daycare.
Yeah.
So that the dogs understand we're just a part-time back at some point.
Right.
And so when we have dogs that come in regularly for daycare and then they stay for overnights, it's a super smooth transition. We have had more seniors in this last year, older dogs that are seniors coming in
Really?
to watch. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand why this is such a positive thing for their seniors. But how many people do you know that have an older dog that got a puppy and they're like,
yes.
oh yeah, this dog, he's just all of a sudden, our senior is a puppy again. It's, you don't have to get the puppy. I'll give you the puppies. I
Right.
have all the puppies. And part of my handler's jobs is to make sure that everybody's playing nicely. This is behavioral training. This is social training. And I have the pack to work with.
I love that.
So we have a trainer on staff that focuses only on the behavior of the dogs. If we have a puppy that is ignoring body language from an older dog, the older dog is saying, hey,
Leave me alone.
Go fluff yourself.
Yeah.
I don't want to be bothered right
Yes.
now. And that puppy's not quite getting it. The handler will come over, redirect the puppy to maybe a dog that is a little bit more playful.
Oh.
Or that's an opportunity to work with that puppy on being still, calm. Let's say they've been playing all morning and now they're overtired. We're going to have to make that pup stay long enough so that they can understand, oh,
I need to
calm down. Just like a toddler who gets overtired, these pups don't understand. If they're having so much fun, they're going to keep trying to have so much fun. Go run, and crash. The goal of this type of training is to teach them in a real live environment that you can play, but remember how to rest. Remember what your tools are to make yourself a good dog.
And remember what it's like interacting with some of those dogs. Not everyone's going to be your friend.
Yeah. And I have more seniors that come in, like a lot of mama dogs that were adopted. Maybe they were used for breeding and then they're depressed at home. The mama dogs come in and they are the ones that the pups love to sleep
Yes.
with because that energy
They're
of that
drawn.
mama dog and the
Yeah.
mama dog is just so happy to have all
Yeah.
those babies around. Sometimes she'll get up and kind of saunter over.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah, so I have a girlfriend who brings in her senior dog, Polly. I love little Polly Pocket. She's just this
Polly Pocket?
I call her Polly Pocket. Every love dog should have at least 11 names.
Okay, there we go. 11
They have
names, that's the number.
Their government name, and then you've got the names that we make up for you.
Love it.
But little Polly is, she's an older pit bull. She's an only dog household. But when she comes in, she loves the babies. She will put her paw down if everybody needs to be, going to sleep. And again, it's that power of the pack. They are teaching each other. They're working with each other, which is just
Interesting.
such a beautiful thing to
Yeah.
watch. Obviously, my handlers are there to make sure that there is a strong presence of a trainer.
Yes.
The dog should not be governing themselves or each other, but it's communication. It's watching those calming signals that the dogs have and trying to teach how for the puppies to recognize it. And it's not always babies. Sometimes it's a 3-4-year-old dog that's gone to the dog park, that's gone to all of these other places, but's never been told, this is what this means.
Right.
That dog has walked away from you multiple times. Let's go find somebody that wants to play with you.
Exactly.
Let's find somebody that's giving you what you need.
It's socialization skills that we need as a human. Why would we not think that a pet needs it too?
Yeah.
And they're probably way more instinctive at it than we are.
Yeah, it depends. I think that there's so many different types of personalities and so many different breeds that it just depends on the kid. It really does.
That is very cool. I really appreciate that. So I would imagine in your many years working with pets. Oh, wait, I have another question first.
Yeah.
Do you only do dogs or do you have other pets that you take in as well?
So we only take dogs right now. I actually, little known fact, I started in animal behavior when I was working with my cat.
Oh,
so
interesting.
I was probably 13 or 14 years old and I wanted to, we weren't going to have a dog. And so I started reading books on animal behavior and started trying to train my cat.
That's so funny.
Forever, and she still or never really picked up on all of it. I felt like it was a form of communication.
Yeah.
And then we finally did get a dog, and that's how I started working on dog training. But to answer your question, the goal is to eventually have a much larger span of availability for other animals. We would like to have a full cattery, but again, that goes into, I have such a standard with what I would like to see. I will not start something unless I can reach that standard.
Yeah, I appreciate that because then you don't get in over your head and you don't...
Cats need something very different. They need water flow. They need all 4 elements within the same space. They need quiet. And because dogs have GI upset when they're upset. But a cat, if you have a cat that is stressed out, a GI upset can be fatal. Oh. And so it's super important to make sure that when we do finally get to the point where we have a full cattery, that has to be a whole element onto itself. That energy has to be a very specific, controlled space. And I just don't have that space right now.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I had no idea.
Well, that's an animal lover saying, absolutely not. I wouldn't put my animal in such and such a spot.
But it makes sense, right? Because they are so much more mellow. They sleep all day. Yeah, I can see that.
And taking a cat out of their element is scary enough as it sits.
Yeah.
It would be really cool if we could create a situation where you could take your cat for daycare. I think that'd be really cool, but we're not there yet.
Eventually you will.
Yeah.
So with working with the dogs,
yeah,
I would imagine you've had a funny experience. Can you think of or share something that in your professional life that you have found to be a hysterical, you look back on it, you chuckle and you're like, man, that silly dog, or...
To pick one is hard.
Imagine.
I can tell you that our day is hilarious. I know that a lot of people want us to send lots and lots of pictures, but we are working so in depth with these dogs that sometimes I have to put my phone down while I'm on the floor with these dogs. We're rolling around, we're seeing. So I'm trying to think. My favorite is when the puppies, because they get so excited that they forget how to dog. And when they get so excited and they do the sort of the Scooby-Doo, they'll run, and I'm like shouting at them, more paw, less claw, more paw, less claw, get some traction, dude. And then they finally, their feet go the right way, and then all of a sudden they're just, and those zoomies start to happen. Those are the best
to
watch.
Awesome.
I wish I had a better, like a one situation for you, but they're just silly all day. Watching a dog be a dog is probably one of the best blessings that I have.
Oh, yeah. You're happy all the time.
There are days where, they are great and everything gets into the groove. There are other times where we work with dogs that have extreme anxiety and mom leaves and they're, oh my gosh. Having that moment where they finally trust you and you can see that you earned that That's amazing.
Oh, that's an aha moment.
That's got to be the coolest moment because we work so hard with them and we have to become a second. You have to earn that trust, especially with cattle dogs.
Oh, I can imagine. They're smart.
You have to be respectful to their space, but still have enough confidence to be their trainer. So it's this really cool relationship building with these dogs that every day it starts all over again.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's a great job, but I will give you it's exhausting.
I can imagine that too. And do you have your kids involved with this? Do they get to come and play with the dogs and be so happy?
My youngest daughter is absolutely our dog whisperer in the family. When she was probably about 4 or 5 years old, she walked right up to one of the Great Danes that I was working with, and the Great Dane, they had their little nose to nose, which the Great Dane was looking down at her, and she puts her little finger up in the air and says, "Sit." And that dog's butt went boop. I was like, yep, she gonna work with me.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
How
So we call her our
sweet.
marketing director because Audrey is always out and about handing out flyers, and she works with me at the daycare every now and then. So during the summer, anybody who stops by is probably going to be seeing her with me.
Oh, very good.
And my oldest daughter is not great with loud sounds, so that's sort of the person that I will be building a cattery with at some point.
Yeah, that's perfect, right?
Because she just needs a different form of energy.
That is perfect.
Yeah.
And where does Sophia fit into this? Because
My
Miss
sweet
Sophia, she is Miss Boulder City.
Yes, she
so
is Miss-
we want to make
Miss
sure we
Boulder
point
City.
that out.
My sweet, sweet Sophia, she has not come to play with me at the dog house.
Okay.
But when COVID was happening and she was stuck in the house the whole time, I would make sure on several of my walks, I would find some of the really big dogs or the really small dogs, and I would make sure to come by the house so that she could come see the dogs. So much so that I am not Auntie Allie, I'm Auntie Pup. So to some of her friends, to some of what we call my bonus kids, I'm Auntie Pup because she was just like, oh, Pup. So eventually it was
That was
Auntie
how
Pup
you are
is here.
known.
So yeah,
That is awesome. I treasure her. I think she's awesome.
she's perfect.
So can you share with us, let's learn a little bit more about Allie.
Yeah.
Share with us, what was your very first job?
My first job was where the Capriati's is right now.
Yeah.
There was a Hoagie Yogi Teriyaki stand.
That's right. I remember.
So I worked there when I turned 16.
Awesome.
Technically, when I was 14, I would go around Art in the Park. No, 13. I would go around Art in the Park and would ask the vendors if they needed any extra help.
You are smart.
Jeff Coons, who was a potter at the time, he hired me at 13, and I worked for him for 3 years until I turned 16. And
Wow.
I actually worked with him every year until I graduated.
Way to use a special event.
Yeah,
That's
so I guess
awesome.
technically Jeff was the first job that I sort of had. But yeah, Hoagie Yogi was my first big girl job.
Totally.
And-
I completely remember. They had great sandwiches.
Yeah.
They had great bread.
Yes,
It was the
right?
bread that
and then
made
the
it.
yogurt, getting all those mix-ins and stuff was so
man.
cool.
I miss it.
Yeah, I started in the food industry, so yeah.
That is awesome. And
I wanted to make sure that I mentioned to you, so one of the big things that we've got coming up right now,
oh yeah.
we are building a classroom. So for the first
Really?
time, I will be inviting people to join my program. I will be teaching my program on a larger scale.
And is that on site? Is that still? Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that is
I'm really
awesome. Are you
very
expanding?
excited about it. No,
You're just gonna make it work.
We're gonna work with the space that we have. The dogs still are going to have both sides, but when we first originally opened, I had created a small dog space. A lot of people they don't want their small dog around large dogs.
Right.
A lot of what I would hear was, I don't want my dog trampled. I think a lot of these small dogs are not given enough credit, to be honest. We have furniture in there
Yes,
and
you do.
regular play equipment. So a lot of my smaller dogs will find spaces, perches, and that gives them the feeling of seniority and superiority. And so they watch and they judge, and that's totally fine. We had issues with this segregated area. The small dogs would come up to the high area where they could watch the larger dogs, and they wanted to get in. So they would try and squeeze themselves through the bars, and half of the time I was trying to keep them in a safe space. And so then I would just bring them in, or I would have to hear them cry until their owners would come to pick them up. And I'm like, is there any way I could get you to just approve? Let me bring them into the main area. And so we had to develop into a daycare saying, I'm sorry, if you're not wanting the dog to be in with the large group, we just won't be, we're just not the place for you.
Not the right fit.
And there are larger facilities that can offer that. So trying with as much love to let people know you need to give your dog what you feel is necessary, but we just don't have that kind of space.
And trust your judgment.
Yeah, exactly. Which is hard. I'm a complete stranger to most of these.
Right.
They look online and they see what I do, but I think that you have to have a lot of trust for somebody to take care of your animal. And again, it's not just the dogs. I have to earn that trust with the owners as well.
Yeah.
And maintain that trust. And nobody is harder on that process than an owner who loves their dog.
Right,
Some of these
absolutely.
animals are all that this owner has. So when it came to developing these programs, I took a portion of the daycare that I thought, okay, I thought this was going to be used for something else, but it's not being used. Let's clear all this out. The dogs can still use the play area when we're not having classes.
Okay.
But there is a whole pocket of people that need something that I can't give them. Like we started doing treadmill training for some
Really?
of the high stress dogs that
Yeah.
I would hear a lot. My dog is highly anxious and we can't take them out in public, so we can't bring them to you. I always suggest, have you thought about treadmill training at all? And, well, I don't know what that is. Awesome. So what I do is I work with your dog and I redirect that energy into training on a treadmill. And so we work out a workout program to help them to take that anxious energy and put it into the treadmill. I have been able to rehabilitate dogs that were not able to be in a large dog environment, put them in smaller groups after treadmill. So then we work treadmill into the daycare
Really?
program. So these are just some of the tools that I use in addition to the sound healing.
Yes.
And the classes, I feel that the classes are going to be a better way of me reaching out because the dogs develop these anxieties. And I feel like a lot of these owners take it so personally. I did this to my dog. No. Sometimes the environment is not something that you could have controlled.
Or what happened to them before that owner got them.
Sure. Or maybe just how that dog was born. You have to train the dog you have, not the dog
Right.
that you want. You know, most trainers are going to tell you that. You just train where your dog is and move forward.
Right.
And
I love that concept.
so when it came to, because there's so many great trainers out here. The rec department has this fantastic program with Bill Salazar. And I know there are so many more trainers out there. He's just the first one that comes to
Pops
mind.
in your head, yeah.
Yeah. And I've taken his courses several times. Great course.
He is quite the expert, yeah.
He's so good at explaining the basics of dog training and how much credit we need to take when it comes to working with these dogs, like how much responsibility we need to take with the dogs. That's so important. And it's hard to hear.
Well, some people don't want to go, they don't want to put that much effort into it.
Sure.
Yeah.
My view on it is I use sound waves to reach the dogs on a different level. So I go directly to the brain. I want to adjust where your head is when you're stressed and I know you can't see the hands on the podcast, but like when you're stressed and you're way up here and you're like, oh my gosh, and your dog is, oh my gosh.
That's right.
What I want to do as a trainer is grab the both of you, make you breathe and just calm down. And then when we set into that space, that's when I want to work with you. And then we've learned a little something, and then we're going to work with you a little bit more, and we're going to end this super duper calm. And I'm going to send you home with that homework to just breathe. Have faith in each other, have faith in the relationship that you have, and do the work, but then be okay with the fact that it's not going to look perfect.
I love that. And I love the whole idea that you get them to the point where their learning can take place, because
Yes.
it can't take place when either of them are stressed.
No.
But you get them to where they can learn and then teach them a little bit and then come back to that space multiple times.
Yeah.
And so share with me then how the classroom will work. So will you be publishing online when your classes are? Will they be just on Saturdays? Will they be during the week? What's your plan?
I'm going to run the classes the same way that I've developed all of my programs, with what my clients need. And that's where we're going to start.
Okay.
We'll have a couple of classes during the week, most of them in the evening because I'm still building my team.
Yes.
And so a lot of it's going to be like when I close the daycare, that's when all the classes are going to be.
Right.
And then a few classes on Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah, so
I love that.
we'll move them around. Checking the website for the calendar is going to be your best way to go. See what works for you. We're going to be doing a couple of discounted classes to see how it works. We're hoping to start with a guided dog massage class where you can just sit and bond with your dog
How cool.
while having a sound bath. And then we'll do some basic training classes where, again, sound will be as you're coming in. So we bring you to a calm space. We want everybody to level. And then we'll do some structured training. And then we'll end it with everybody calming and a quick sound bath at the end.
I love that. I think it's so cool that you're incorporating that aspect and allowing people to get in touch with themselves a little bit more along with their dogs. You mentioned Michelle Linder Wellness.
Yes.
I happen to just love her. She hosted a lunch and learn at her location, and I had the opportunity to stand in the brass bowl that she has that
It's
that you
wild,
stand
right?
into. Oh my gosh, Johnny and I both did it. So John Barlow, we were talking about him just a second ago. So Johnny and I both stood in it, and I could feel the tops of my hairs moving.
Yeah.
It was incredible. I don't know. I was just so impressed with it. And I think the world of her. Talk about an entrepreneur with a vision, and that is improving people's mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
She gets it. And she's collaborated with all the right people that just make Linder Wellness is fabulous. And it's got so many aspects to it. The fact that it's tied now to Damn Doghouse, it's a perfect fit. What a cool concept.
Well, she was such
a
a neat instructor because she understands my need for the information, but also understood that I'm looking at the science end of it. I'm trying to read about how can I explain this to someone who doesn't do sound healing? How do I get people into the door? Because you don't have to explain it when somebody experiences it. You experience the sound and how it affects from top to tail, right?
Oh,
so,
yes.
I mean, you don't need explanation. But when you're a business owner trying to start a new program, there is another, and we haven't signed any serious paperwork, but I'm sure Michelle will back me on this. So we're bringing in the critter sitters CPR classes.
Yes.
So she has a space during the week.
I love that.
Yeah.
See, again, another
Because it's all just
collaboration.
good information.
Yeah.
It's all great information. We collab with the Paw Queen, Lila Jean. If you set up with her and the dog's got daycare, let me take care of that. She and I will go back and forth, and we'll make sure that the kiddo, I'm going to try to make sure they're not slobbery by the time that they get home. Because if they come back to the daycare,
They
I make
get
no
slobbered
promises.
on.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Somebody going to get slammed.
But it's okay, because now I know my dog had a safe environment and all was good. You know what? You have just been a total joy. I would imagine that some of my favorite questions to ask people, I can already guess the type of books that you read, but is there a favorite book that you're reading right now?
I am constantly reading and rereading a lot about sound right now because that's sort of my obsession. But I read a lot of Eileen McCusick.
Oh, interesting.
And so I'm on the Electric Body, Electric Mind right now. And the beauty of her is that all of her degrees are in physics. So she explains the science end of it. It's not all about
the transcendental
feelings
nature.
And the metaphysical stuff. She actually talks about the sound waves itself and how it affects the brain, how the delta waves can affect your brain, and how to create those waves. And that's what I learn with working with a talented sound healer like Michelle Linder.
Michelle,
being able to learn from people and then read the books about it and just be like, oh, this is all coming together. It's so cool.
Neat?
And with a dog, when you work with the dogs, it's so natural. They have 4 points of contact with the earth. Most dogs do not wear booties for the most part. And even then, they are constantly accepting and releasing energy, accept or release. And you got to figure the goal of the daycare is to siphon all of that from them and give them a place to breathe and give them a place to have that calm. So the expansion of the classes, and again, why I go back to this is what I read, this is what I breathe, this is what I'm doing right now, because the more I learn, the more dogs we can reach, the more people we can reach.
Right.
The more people we can help, the more dogs we can help.
And the more you are looked at as the expert that people need to go to for the information that they need and the help that they need.
That is absolutely the goal, but it is something that I take very seriously.
Yeah.
I have to earn that every single day, every dog that I work with. I have to have enough humility to remember that this is an ongoing thing. This is going to be a lifelong goal. Yes, Eileen McCusick is who I'm obsessing about right now.
I love that.
but we'll see. Maybe I need to do a fantasy series here.
Just to let it loose. Yeah, you need a beach read.
Yeah.
Sit on some.
I got to put it down at some point, but we'll see. We'll see how far that goes.
That is awesome. Well, Allie, I just think the world of you and your entire family, and I'm so proud of you for what you've accomplished. Thank you very much. Thank you for being a true asset here in Boulder City, and thank you for being on the Best Damn podcast.
I thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
This episode of the Best Damn podcast has been a production of the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce. Please check out all the links and social media handles on our website as well at bouldercitychamber.com. You can find the Best Damn podcast on all your favorite podcast directories. Like us and share on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Until next time, discover, explore, and unwind in Boulder City.